Are we having fun yet? That's kind of the theme on the farm, and that's very sarcastic because no, it has not been fun. Today we're just going to talk a little bit about, if you're on the East Coast, probably got a lot of snow and ice in the last week or two, and basically how that's affected the farm, what's happened, what didn't happen, and maybe some things we're going to try to do to be more prepared for the next one. So let's jump into it. Real quick, we have a newsletter, The Part-Time Farmer. This comes out every Sunday about 10 a.m. I talk about how to market your products on your farm, how to use social media and websites to grow your farm. I also talk about farming, raising cattle, chickens, pigs. We go through it all, and it's about building your farm business. Sign up now, and you also get a free PDF on how to use ChatGPT to write your social media, to write your newsletters, and to help write product descriptions for your products. This is free download for signing up for the newsletter. One newsletter every 1 to 2 weeks, no spam, I promise. Check it out. I think you'll get a lot of value in learning to grow your farm or homestead, and it's free. All right, back to the video. Ice and snow is everywhere here on the farm, and it has been a pain. You look behind me, I just cleared most of this out yesterday, and you can see the roof right here. We have one of those gambrel roofs, I believe they're called, and it all decided to come off yesterday. Don't have your mouth open while you're shoveling poop. I mean, these are huge slabs that have to get my tractor back in here, try to break some of them up and move that, but it's just been one thing after another. You know, you prepare for these things, and we did a lot to prepare. We had generators set up so that if power went out, we would still have the necessities, at least to get by. We'd still have heat. We had propane tanks along with a propane heater inside the house, so those were ready to go in case the power went out. Obviously sealed up all the doors just to make sure everything stayed warmer should we lose power. Then we had the tractor, obviously. Had that ready, you know, to clear snow, get hay for the cattle, do the things we needed to do. The day before the storm, we put out probably 6 or 7 bales for the cattle, just so that I wouldn't have to touch the tractor or do anything for 4 or 5 days. You know, we felt like we were pretty prepared for this one, and it proved us wrong. So let's start with the first problem we had. One is about 4 or 5 days later, I'll get to some of the other stuff, but the tractor stopped working. And by stop working, I mean I turned the key and just click, click, click. It's like, okay, it's cold, maybe the battery's dead. Charge that all the way up, click, click, and turns out it was my starter was gone. And I read some things, you could bang on it a few times, try some things, but couldn't get it started. So therefore, we had to haul bales of hay. I have a Greg Judy bale enroller, which is awesome in itself, but it's a lot of work. And not only that, but after about 5 days, you guys know that storm came through, the temperatures stayed single digits, low double digits. So that snow turned into just a sheet of ice. And luckily we drove around the first day just playing, sledding, doing some things. So we created a lot of tracks, and we found where those tracks were at, we could drive okay. But there were some areas my gator would not even sink in it. It was literally on top, like it was on an ice rink. And you guys have seen photos of our farm. It's nothing but hills. There is not a flat place on this farm. And so that was a challenge. The hay bales themselves I had set out for the tractor, obviously, but 4 inches of snow that then turned to ice. The hay bales themselves were in there to where we could hardly get them out. So it took 3 of us to rock them and get them turned so that I could get the Greg Judy in there. And just a pain in the butt. Workout, if anything good came out of it. But that was one thing. 2, water. Water froze everywhere. We have a lot of systems that rely on like water wagons that feed hoses into troughs with floats, and we knew that that was going to freeze, so that wasn't so much an issue. This year we have quite a few more horses, and they're not in the barn, they're in other areas, and that's created a challenge. And we have more horses in the barn now that we're boarding. So the water of course froze in the barn, and I've got an insulated room where it all runs into, but and even a little heater in there, but just couldn't keep up with the temperatures. So we've been hauling buckets for the last week and a half, and probably 9 or 10 5-gallon buckets a day, and that'll wear you. And it's not even hauling them, it's a lot of the places they need to get to. I can sort of get the gator to a point, but then we have to walk a good distance. And yeah, I am sick of water buckets. The good news, and this is something if you guys have on your farm, is the hydrants have done amazing. They have not froze, the lines underground have not froze. It's mainly things that come up above the ground that have frozen. So back up, that has worked awesome, and super happy with that. And while we're hauling buckets, it sucks, we do have water. So there's a silver lining to that. If you have a farm, just FYI, those water hydrants Gotta have one somewhere. Getting around the farm in general, that has been a challenge. And because I let my tractor, I waited too long. When the stuff came down the next day, I should have been scraping this stuff and I didn't. And I figured the cattle were good, so I would do it all once I had to do hay and just do everything I needed to do on the tractor at one time. And then the tractor didn't start, and that way I had no way to scrape. So I actually did finally, a week and a half after we got the starter replaced, I was able to scrape yesterday, and that went well until my blade box, and this is probably my stupidity, but I was putting some work through it, obviously getting it to move a lot of this stuff is ice now. Anyways, it totally buckled when I was backing up, so that's jacked up now. It'll scrape a little bit, but it's not doing anything. It's not getting the snow up off the ground. So I do have my tractor bucket, and you can see here, we were able to get a few areas done. I've got a few areas opened up, which is good. Still, the road, it's a lot thinner, but it's still, a sheet of ice. Yeah, just one of those things, and frustrating because it's my ignorance. I should have just kept pulling instead of pushing backwards, so that's on me. And I have a scraper, that angles off. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's way the hell down a hill that there's no way I can get down there and get it right now because it's a valley that goes to it. If you saw a picture last year where I crashed my tractor, that's where it's at. It's all the way down there at the bottom, and I am not touching that area this year. So it'll just have to sit down there and the stuff will just have to melt. Salt, we got 2 or 3 bags of salt, which was good, but needed way more than that. And especially now that I can't scrape as well as I wanted to, that's something I should have had prepared with some more salt, either to pre-put down or just have enough to cover at least the road that comes in to our barn and the road over at the house. And reason being is that right now I've actually got the farm shut down from people ordering because this, I've shoveled a lot, but one thing is that when you are running a business on your property, you have to take the precautions to make sure that those people coming to your property are safe. And we do things, behind me here, we've got these signs that are required, one for agritourism, one for horses. We have insurance, we have LLC, we have all the stuff, but at the same time, I would not be comfortable telling, yeah, come on, pick up your order. And even so, the fridges are right here, and this huge thing of snow just came off the roof. It's just one of those things, you gotta make sure that if you're gonna have people coming, that you're taking the precautions, because if someone gets hurt on your property, that's on you. And obviously there's things that happen that are accidents, but inviting people when the roads are like this, that would be on me. And so we're not doing it. So we shut the farm down. I basically got a website's in maintenance, not a maintenance thing, but it just basically says we're shut down until things clear out a little bit. And then we sent an email as well. So you let your customers know, but it's one of those things that, first of all, I don't want anybody getting hurt. We have some people that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s that come to pick up, and I don't want them out on this. And then the other thing, obviously, again, you got to separate your business from your farm, and sometimes that's hard. And I just don't want to take the chance of someone getting hurt and then, lawsuit, something like that. So just something to think about on your farm, these conditions. If you got people coming to your farm for stuff, just know that you could be liable for that and take the precautions you need to. Chickens, surprisingly, they've been not as much work as the horses. They're still work. We've been dealing with them every day, but in their house, we put up heat lamps. We got 4 heat lamps in there that they can get access to, and those are staying on 24/7 right now. And then, of course, it's covered, so, they have a place to keep warm. Then their water, well, obviously, we've had to change that every day. Food, they go through that about, I've only got between 40 and 50 birds right now. And they go through that probably about every 3 days or so. Eggs, that's been the challenge. And we've been trying to get these eggs. I mean, I'll get out here at 7 in the morning and half of them are already frozen and cracked. And I'll go out in the evening just to check to see if some laid. Those are already frozen and cracked. And so it's just, yeah. I mean, I know there's some heating pads you could get to put in the boxes would probably help. But again, that's running electricity. We're running 50 birds. It's not that many eggs. And if I had a larger operation, probably, but we're seriously thinking of 2 things next year. One, we may not do eggs. Honestly, it's a lot of work. It ties us to the farm, meaning you have to be out there every day to check the water, to feed, to get eggs. Then you're washing eggs. It's just a lot of work. So we're thinking about taking a little break. But if we don't, our other option is, you guys seen the mobile chicken coops that we made for our broilers and turkeys. We're going to pare back the broilers and actually use one of those, convert it to a laying house. Reason being is it has no floor whatsoever, so all the poop just goes on the floor. Two, I told you we have a lot of hills, and this wagon model is great if I have flat, but I have very little flat area, so there's only so many areas I can pull it around up there. Where if I had the mobile range coop on skids, I can essentially pull it on hills, I can put it anywhere I need to. Three, I can tarp it with a clear tarp, and I can do that with this, but this would get a lot more exposure with a clear tarp, essentially turning it into a greenhouse, which would help with retaining heat for the birds. Still get cold at night, and I'd probably still use some heat lamps at some point. Four, though, I could have the boxes within that greenhouse, and that would probably help a lot as well. So a lot of reasons to possibly convert that, and that's something that we're thinking about. Nothing like a good snow and ice to get you thinking about how to make things easier. And that's part of farming. That's how you get efficient, is you go through some rough times, you know, like we're doing now. You fix what went wrong the best you can, and then for the next snow, ice, condition, whatever, you're running into these things again, but hopefully they're new problems. Something we learned in PA school was that it's totally okay to make mistakes, just always make new mistakes. Because if you make the same mistakes, it means you didn't learn from them. So always make new mistakes and fix that mistake and keep going, you tend to get better. That's really it. Just wanted to do just an update, what's going on here at the farm. And I hope all you guys are safe. I hope that you're not hauling too many buckets of water. I've talked to a lot of the people I do websites for, at least that are in this area, and they're dealing with the same problems. So it's pretty universal. But it's part of farming. You have your good times and your bad times, and this is just one of those times that, even though it seems bad, I'm fortunate enough to still be out here. Fortunate enough, all the animals have done well. We didn't lose power, so that was a fortunate thing. You know, that's a big one right there. You know, you don't have power, then that really knocks out some stuff. So just having power, everybody staying warm, and yeah, you know, sucks, but doesn't really suck. So, all right, guys, I'll have another video out in a week or two. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.